Welcome to She Sells Radio. I have a prosperity episode for you today that I love this law because when I first learned it and when I started using it, it helped me kind of get out of my own way and get out of like the clenching on to, whether it was money or existing circumstances or feeling like I had to have a full 20-step plan before I could take action on something. And it also helped me feel so much more like empowered in the moment. So this is the prosperity law of use. And I'm just going to give you the Elyse non-formal definition, but basically how I see this one is that you got to use what you have if you want to grow into more. If you want to expand financially, life-wise, are you using what you have already? And that applies to all areas financially, skills, zone of genius, talents. And the other way that I look at this one is that you may have heard me say before, like, you don't need to know the how when you're on the journey. And I literally saw this demonstrated this week with one of our new 50K club members who had said yes to the program, was like, I have no idea how I'm going to get to 50K months, but I know I want them. I know they're meant for me. And the way it works, even down from a neurological standpoint, the way your subconscious mind works is its whole design is to help you achieve whatever it is that you think about most and that you decide is your reality. But you have to decide before it will go to work doing that because it's all about efficiency. It doesn't want to expend energy on something unless it knows for sure that it needs to, and then it has to. That's how our brains and bodies are wired, are for efficiency. And so this woman had said yes to the program and yes to 50K months for herself. And it was like a couple of weeks in, this download came of this new thing that she can do and that she can launch that I have zero doubts will get her to 50K or beyond months. It's one of many ways she can do it. But that download didn't come until she said yes. And so the part of this here where you will always have what you need to get started. This is, in my opinion, part of the law of use, the prosperity law of use, because you're not going to have the full picture. You're not going to see the full picture. If it's maybe an investment you feel very drawn to and very aligned with, oftentimes you won't have the full amount, but you'll either have the amount for a deposit or you'll have the means to get a deposit for it. Your job is to say yes and to use what you have to get started. And so I want to read to you, this is an excerpt from The Science of Getting Rich, chapter 12. For any of you who were around last year when I was doing a lot of like the book series, I don't think, no, we did do some Science of Getting Rich, I think, maybe. This is giving me a throwback. Either way, here we go. Let's talk a little bit about what our friend Wallace Wattles says in The Science of Getting Rich. So he says, you must use your thought as directed in previous chapters and begin to do what you can do where you are, and you must do all that you can do where you are. You can advance only by being larger than your present place, and no man is larger than his present place who leaves undone any of the work pertaining to that place. The world is advanced only by those who more than fill their present places. Now, again, this was written in early 1900s, 1800s. So man is the pronoun of the day then. So just substitute your pronoun. If no man quite filled his present place, you can see that there must be a going backward in everything. Those who do not quite fill their present place are a dead weight upon society, government, commerce, and industry. They must be carried along by others at a great expense. The progress of the world is retarded only by those who do not fill the places they are holding. They belong to a former age and a lower stage or plane of life, and their tendency is towards degeneration. No society could advance if every man was smaller than his place. Social evolution is guided by the law of physical and mental evolution. In the animal world, evolution is caused by excess of life. When an organism has more life than can be expressed in the functions of its own plane, it develops the organs of a higher plane and a new species is originated. There never would have been new species had there not been organisms which had more than filled their places. The law is exactly the same for you. You getting rich depends upon your applying this principle to your own affairs. So this whole conversation and concept of filling your present place, what does it look like? It's kind of like, what example do I want to use? I don't know that this is a perfect example, but I'm going to say it and we're going to like see it through because it's it's what's coming up. So we'll see if it works. But I just think about, a plant will grow to the size of the container it's in. How do I want to, okay, guide me here, Spirit, on this one. So a plant will only grow to the size of the container it's in. When you put it in a larger, here we go, okay, this is clicking. When you put it in a larger container, it grows to fill that container. But it's got to grow to fill the container before it gets moved into a bigger one. Does that make sense? So it's making sense to me. Hopefully it's making sense the way I'm delivering it here. So this law of use, though, is a really beautiful law because it's all about, are you filling your present place? Like looking at the natural evolution of species, of animals on the planet, of plants on the planet, and looking at how can we model that in our own life. And I think there are a couple of core areas. It's kind of like if you say, I want a lot more, right? I want a lot more money. I want a lot more clients. I want a lot more whatever, but you're not currently like leveraging the money you have. You're not currently using the money you have. You're not currently appreciating the clients you have. You say you want a big social following, but you're not currently appreciating the following that you have, whether that's one person, 100 people, 1,000 people. The number doesn't matter. So are you using what you have with where you are? And so this is, how do we use this? There's a couple of core areas that I want to hone in on for you here. And one of them is money. And we can look at, are we saying we want more money, but we're afraid to use what we have? So the law of use would say you use what you have and more comes. And so with this one, it's like, if you hoard it, right? It's not that we don't want savings. It's not that we don't want investments. Like that's actually something there was a time in my life when I didn't care about it as much. And now it actually excites me. And so like, I'm having fun with it and working on that now and enjoying that. There's also a season where I really didn't care about it and I'm not making myself wrong for it, right? So we get to all have our own journey there, but are you leveraging what you already have, or are you hoarding it, afraid that more won't come? And so this is what, wow, this is going to come full circle today. Full disclosure, I had something for lunch and I feel like I have a bit of brain fog right now. But the food was delicious. But so, oh gosh, it's gone. It's going to come back. It's going to come. Oh, here it is. Wow. I love that this is recorded live on a podcast. Hopefully you're laughing or you can just fast forward through this part. So this is, I think, a Wayne Dyer quote that I heard last week, where he said, your present resources are for the present moment. Tomorrow's resources will come for tomorrow's needs. So often we want tomorrow's resources today because we want to use it to feel safe. Tomorrow's resources are going to show up with tomorrow's needs. Today's present resources are for today's needs. And so it's really about getting into that, like that present moment, full flow with your resources, and just speaking specifically here to finances of what's required for today. And you will always have what you need to get started. So it's really remembering that. And so if you feel like, well, I can't get started on this thing because I only have enough for a deposit, or whatever, I feel like I need the full amount before I can get started. That's actually a violation of the law of use. It's not how it works. So using what you have today. I would also look at this in the umbrella of your gifts and your talents. So are you leveraging all of your gifts and talents, or are you holding back on using them as well? And, I love working with the members of this community because I get to see just the beautiful gifts and talents of so many of you. And whether it's You have a gift for video. You have a gift for speaking. You have a gift for writing. You have a gift for coaching. You have a gift for money making. So often we were told growing up that our gifts and talents, like that they were things to be ashamed of, or they weren't celebrated, or we thought we can't make money from them, so we stopped leaning into them. I want you to really look at, are you using and leveraging your gifts and talents to their full extent? Or are you holding back? Are you holding back out of fear? Are you holding back out of worry or concern that someone's going to shame you or make fun of you, or you're going to put yourself out there and it's not going to be good? I tell you what, if you desire more, but you're holding back from sharing what you already have, you're not going to get more until, again, you are filling your present place. And then the other area that we can look at this in is whether it's like a living situation or a job situation, are you maximizing what you already have? Now, I'm all about expansion and growth and reinvestment and all of that. So that's not what I'm talking about here. But it's kind of like, let's say that maybe you're in a job situation that you really want to get out of and you're feeling resistant to it. You're feeling, you're like, oh, I just can't wait to get out and find something better. And so you start kind of maybe you start slacking off a bit. Maybe you don't bring your best self to work. Maybe you're not fully there and you're kind of checking the box. That is actually not the way to get a career up level. The way to get a career up level is, even if you're clear that you want to leave, especially if you're clear that you want to leave, you bring what Wallace Wattles calls the impression of increase to what you're doing. So you show up in your present place with the energy that you're going to bring, that you intend to bring when that dream job unfolds, when that dream opportunity unfolds. And as you do that, you'll be presented with circumstances that are more in alignment with how you're showing up right now. But if you want a better career, if you want a better job, if you want better clients, and you're complaining or in lack of gratitude about the ones you already have, or the career you already have, it's going to be a painful process to get into the thing you really want, because you're not actually a match for the thing you want right now. And so it's looking at how can you show up in your current role the way that you think you're going to show up if you had what you really wanted. Like, would you bring extra effort? Would you bring a little extra positivity? Would you bring extra cheerfulness? Would you bring more joy? Would you bring more gratitude? And bring that now. It's not going to keep you there longer. It's actually going to catapult you out of there faster. And it's going to be oftentimes way less effort and work on your part, because you're an energetic match for something better. And when we are, things shift around us and they help get taken care of for us. And then the other part of this is like, are you caring for what you already own? And it just a little example, like, let's say you want a better home. Totally get it. I want you to have that dream home. Go get that dream home. Like, yes, go get it. And treat the one you already have as if it's your dream home. Spruce it up. The same goes for a car, a wardrobe. How can you use and maximize and put the highest level of energy and gratitude into what you have? And more is given from that place of more than filling your present place. So this is my spin on the prosperity law of use. And I think it's a really fun one to play with, because you can look at just one area where it's like, where am I really desiring more? But if I'm honest with myself, like, I'm not using what I have. I'm not showing up to my full extent. I'm not expanding the way I really could in this moment for some sort of fear. And when you decide that you're going to more than fill your present place, then you get to move into the larger planter, to continue our plant analogy for today. That's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this. We made it through even with a little bit of brain fog. So let me know on social, did this make any sense to you? The way I think it did, at least to me. I'm at Elyse Archer on all social. I'd love to connect with you. You can also head on over to my website, ElyseArcher.com, to check out. We've got some events coming up, which I'm so excited about. In-person event coming up. You can head on over to the website. It should be there by the time this episode airs. You can check out our programs. And I would love to connect with you further if the team and I can be of support. So thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on our next episode.